Level 1, the runner, scrabbling to survive in the cracks. You're the lowest rung runner in an arms trafficking network, not even worthy of touching a weapon yourself. There are no written rules for your job, only fatal, unspoken taboos. You never ask where the cargo is going. You never memorize a client's face. You never leave a single trace of the deal. You don't even speak an extra word to your contact. You head out before dawn every day, hauling parts disguised as ordinary goods, weaving through the dark, forgotten corners of the city, all to scrape together just enough money to get by. You thought loyalty would earn you trust. Once, your contact told you to deliver a batch of parts to a set location. You were stopped and searched by the police mid-route, and you did everything you could to hide the cargo. Even when you were taken to the station for questioning, you didn't breathe a single word. But when you dragged your exhausted body back to the warehouse, you weren't met with praise. You were screamed at by your contact. One more mistake, and you'll disappear forever. You start to compromise. When your contact tells you to deliver goods to a war-torn border in the dead of night, you don't dare refuse. When they tell you to forge shipping documents, you do it in silence. When they make you take the fall for their mistakes, you don't say a word. All to survive one more day, to save up a little more money. The change creeps up on you slowly. One day, you can rattle off the model number of every single part with perfect accuracy. You can keep your cool when the police stop and search you. You can stand there stone-faced when your contact flies into a rage. For the first time, the supplier nods at you, pretty sharp. You can learn to inspect the goods with me from now on. You think this is your shot at hope. What you don't know is that it's just your first step into the abyss. Level 2, the middleman, master of disguise. You're no longer the low-level runner only good for hauling cargo. The supplier starts teaching you to identify weapon models, to handle small clients, to talk about the deadliest deals in the flattest, most casual tone. You learn to hide your fear behind a smile, to wrap your panic in a calm exterior. The rules at this tier are far more complicated. You can't trust everything a client tells you. You can't believe a word your competitors say. You must obey the supplier's orders without question. The game of power escalates here. You have to grovel to the supplier, charm your clients, and watch your back against your fellow middlemen, all of them just as hungry as you are to climb the ladder. You face your first defining moment. A small client asks you to source a batch of banned weapons, telling you they're for self-defense. But you find out by chance that the weapons will be sent to a war-torn region, used to harm innocent civilians. Your first instinct is to refuse, but the supplier silences you with a single look. Your job is to make the deal, not to stick your nose where it doesn't belong. You start to rationalize your choices. You tell yourself it's just a job, just a way to survive. You tell yourself that even if you don't do it, someone else will. And if someone's going to make the money, it might as well be you. You tell yourself that if you just hold on a little longer, you'll have more power, you'll break free from this life where you're not in control. Every day, you navigate a world of clients from all walks of life, listening to their lies and their schemes with the same unchanging smile on your face. You start to get a taste of power. The supplier puts you in charge of a handful of small clients, lets you arrange cargo deliveries. When you bark orders at the low-level runners, just like your contact once did to you, you feel the rush that power brings, and you feel the cold, unfeeling numbness that comes with it. You look at those young runners, just as naive as you once were, and feel no sympathy, only numbness. You know they'll be changed by this system, bit by bit, just like you were. Level 3, the dealer, holding the chips. You've become the supplier's right hand. You no longer have to run deliveries yourself. No longer have to deal with small-time clients. You start to control parts of the supply chain, work with major clients, hold the fates of the runners and middlemen in your hands. You have far more power now, and you shoulder far greater risk. The rules at this tier are even more brutal. You have to learn to choose, to sacrifice, to trade the smallest cost for the biggest gain. You face the hardest choice of your life so far. A long-time major client owes you a massive sum of money, and the supplier tells you to fix it. Either make him pay up in full, or make sure he's gone from this industry forever. You know this crosses every line you once had, but you have no choice. You track down the client, threaten him with the safety of his family, and make him pay back every cent. You also turn him into your puppet for good. In that moment, your moral lines are gone. The inner struggle is over. You'll do anything to protect your interests, to hold on to your power. You start to see everything through cold, unfeeling eyes, to solve every problem with ruthless methods. The people who work for you fear you, respect you, but no one truly gets close to you. Your life is unrecognizable now. Every day, you wear the most expensive suits, the finest watches, walk into the most exclusive clubs. You're surrounded by countless people, but not a single one can reach the part of you that's locked away. You start to master the game of power, but you also start to be consumed by it. You have to stay on guard every second, can't let your guard down for a moment, because you know the second you show a crack, you'll lose everything. Level 4, the supplier, at the top of the food chain. You've become the new supplier. You control the arms supply for an entire region, and with it, the fates of countless people. You no longer have to bow to anyone, no longer have to charm anyone. You make the rules here, you are the king of this world. At this tier, your power has reached its peak and so has the danger. You have to fend off competition from rival suppliers, evade law enforcement investigations, mediate conflicts between your clients, and watch for betrayal from the people who work for you. You start to write the rules, the laws of survival for this entire arms network. You decree that everyone who works for you must be absolutely loyal, and betrayal will come with a devastating price. You decree that a client's secrets must be guarded with the utmost care, and anyone who leaks information will be eliminated entirely. You decree that the profit of the arms trade comes before everything else, and no one is allowed to cross that line. With these rules, you hold together your criminal empire, and with it, your power. You face a life-threatening crisis. Your rivals team up with the police, trying to gather evidence of your crimes to lock you up for good. You stay calm, destroy every last piece of evidence, and walk away unscathed. But that incident drives home a brutal truth. At the top, you're walking on thin ice. One wrong move, and you'll be shattered to pieces. You grow more and more numb, more and more cold. You start to question everything you've done, everything you've chased. What is the point of all this power? You have no family, no friends. Everyone around you is only here for your money and your power. You have everything, and yet you have nothing at all. Level 5, the prisoner behind the myth. You've become the shadowy puppet master of the entire underground arms network. No one has seen your face. No one knows your real name. Everyone only refers to you as the man. You no longer show up to deals, no longer handle day-to-day operations, and yet you control every arms deal in the entire region. Hold the power of life and death over countless people. At this tier, there are no rules because you are the rules. You have absolute status and absolute loneliness. You no longer have the urge to act, no longer driven by ambition. All that's left is reflection, regret, and endless emptiness. You look at the empire you built with your own two hands, at this closed ecosystem, at countless people struggling and sinking within it, and you see the ghost of your former self. You finally understand, the price of ultimate power is losing everything. You lost your innocence, you lost your joy. You lost your family, your friends, your sense of self. You have more money than you could ever spend in a lifetime, but you can't buy a single moment of peace. You have the fear and respect of thousands, but you can't get a single genuine word from the heart. You have the power to control everything, but you can't control your own fate. You grow tired of this system, tired of this life, but you can never walk away. You're a prisoner, locked in the empire you built, trapped forever. Somewhere, a young man in plain clothes clutches a small package, standing nervously at the warehouse door. His eyes are full of naivety and hope. He thinks if he works hard enough, he can make money here, can escape his fate at the bottom of the ladder. But you know, he'll be changed by this system, bit by bit, just like you were. He'll live everything you lived, feel every pain you felt. He'll stand where you stand now, and fall into the same loneliness and regret. Power and desire are a double-edged sword. They can lift you to the highest peak, or plunge you into the deepest abyss. They can bring you glory, or total ruin. May we all stay clear-eyed and hold fast to our true selves as we chase our dreams. May we never be led astray by desire, nor held captive by power. No matter what tier of life you stand on, the most precious thing you will ever have is your pure, authentic self and your conscience.